I want you to do something for me, Eminem. Think of the most stupid, libertarian, conservative, funding, evangelical that your mind can possibly comprehend. Someone whose stupidity is just so hysterical, yet it makes you want to cut yourself and hit your head with a hammer. Now, when you talk about cryptos and economics, that's how I feel about the stupidity that permeates Majority.fm. I'm very ashamed of you both, and so should you be. Well, Majority Report listeners, let's see if you agree with the stupid, dumb, idiotic dumbos here.
Cut yourself.
Who want to cut ourselves in the head here at the Majority Report. Let's see if you agree with those people, or if you agree with BushinChainz about, this little issue of Bitcoin. So, as we've been covering on this show, Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency that, the anarcho-libertarians and the free market libertarians and the techno-libertarians all have been rallying around as the future of payment. Bitcoin's been going through a bit of trouble these past few weeks when Mt. Gox, the largest Bitcoin exchange on the internet, suddenly halted all trading, saying that they found a flaw in the system. They were talking about Bitcoin, where others believe that the flaw is in Mt. Gox itself. But anyway, they said there was a flaw in the system, and Bitcoin was stolen from them. So they halted all trading. So for days and then weeks, people who had their Bitcoin in Mt. Gox could not trade them or take them out for real cold hard cash. So what ended up happening was the Bitcoin values through Mt. Gox started to drop. I believe they were around maybe $700 something when Bitcoin was first trading. When Bitcoin was first trading when Mt. Gox halted it, and then it dropped all the way to, I believe, as far down as $75. And then suddenly,
you're such a moron.
And then I'm such an idiot.
Reading this.
And then suddenly, a few nights ago, I should have invested in Bitcoin.
Absolutely.
And then a few nights ago, just go to mountgox.com, and all of a sudden, nothing came up. It was just gone. Poof, disappeared. The largest exchange for what is heralded as the future of currency just disappearing. And with it, 750,000 Bitcoins belonging to customers just poof, disappear. So I believe that's worth what? $477 million.
Wow. That's a lot of coin.
That's a lot of coin.
That's a lot of
It's a lot of coin. Yes.
Of coin.
A lot of Bitcoin. So people were wondering what's going on here. What's happening. So early this morning in Japan, where Mt. Gox is based, the CEO of Mt. Gox, Mark Karpelès, he came out and he emerged in public for the first time in several days. And he gave some, words to the Bitcoin investor that I'm sure you'll all feel much better about. And then, oh no, he says, we have lost Bitcoins due to weakness in the system. We are really sorry for causing trouble to all the people concerned. The company's lawyer said that 850,000 Bitcoins are just gone, and basically they are filing for bankruptcy. Goodbye. Yep. So basically what Mark, CEO of Mt. Gox, said is we're rebranding ourselves as Mount Go Fuck Yourself.
We're rebranding ourselves as Mount I have your coins.
Yeah.
We have your coins in Kyoto, and you have no coins in Idaho. So yeah.
So if there's an extra kick in your step today, it's because of this, maybe. I mean, I know it's just unbelievable to me because this company is seeking bankruptcy to get legal protections against any sort of lawsuits or whatever. This perfect, libertarian, unregulated market. What do they do when it all goes to shit? They seek all the protections that the government they hate so much provides them. It's joyous to me to see this. I am ecstatic. I am so pleased to see things like this because it just proves that the libertarian think is flawed to the max. It's stunning to me that there are people out there who still think an unregulated Bitcoin would actually survive after this. What new Bitcoin? How are you going to convince new people who have not already invested in Bitcoin? Sure, the Bitcoin, the true blue Bitcoin investors and those who are loyal to the system, they're going to say this is just, a hiccup and we'll continue to invest. It's still perfect as an unregulated market. But how is it going to grow? How are you going to convince the new investor, someone who is not already into this system, how are you going to convince them that Mt. Gox won't happen again? That one of these other currency exchanges won't tank and take all of their money with them?
I also just, and this is a genuine question, okay? Because apparently I'm too stupid to understand what Max Kaiser is saying. But I have studied some economics. My question is why there's going to be some type of currency that functions like Bitcoin. Because we are going to move towards virtual currencies. And I also think...
this isn't an attack on the idea of a virtual currency.
Exactly.
This is an attack on the idea of a monetary system that that's completely unregulated. There's no system in place to protect the people who have invested or even just use them.
And is intrinsically tilted towards, first of all, practical purposes, things like tax evasion.
Yes,
and things
exactly.
like child pornography,
exactly.
which I don't think anybody wants to see increase. And then because of the nature of the way the money is structured, like you could incentivize, like what Dane was talking about with the post office yesterday. You could create a currency that said you lose value the longer you hoard, so there's more circulation in the system. I also think another thing that's going to emerge, frankly, are things like time banks and other alternative forms of people exchanging goods that don't even necessarily rely on currency. I don't think that's not going to replace currency, but a lot is going to happen. But I do not get why this thing that is used primarily by already wealthy people and already people who have the ability to access it, which is some bar to entry, and primarily used for things, I won't say primarily, but a very big part of this market is for illicit, unethical purposes, like, again, tax evasion and child pornography, that has a inflationary trend that has no government oversight and protection or accountability. Why... I get why you might have criticism of a current way of doing things. I don't agree with them necessarily, but I have no idea what the magical outcome of this process is. And I've tried, because I know it's not just delusional libertarians who are into this. And I've tried and I've tried and I've tried and I've found it. And the most I could tell is basically a defensive virtual currency, which is going to happen, but it doesn't need to happen that way.
Exactly.
It doesn't need to happen in a regressive way. So I don't get the fixation on this, and you're gonna see more stories like this.
Hey, Michael, are you sure that the Mt. Gox, the Magic the Gathering online exchange, is in FDIC insured? Sure, I can get my money back on this one.
There has to be someone.
BushinChainz, here we go. You really are a rube. Equating Mt. Gox synonymously with Bitcoin is as stupid as equating a bank failure with the U.S. dollar.
Well, wait, don't you do that all the time?
Yes, exactly.
I'm confused.
Yeah, BushinChainz, you are unbelievable, buddy. Your specious reasoning is fucking stupid. No, check that. Fucking stupid. And only seconded by your absolute need to feel intellectually superior when in fact you're quite the opposite. Dude, every single I am you message to this show feels that way to us.
I've just asked you, I've asked directly. I've said, look, what is the defense? If your defense is there's going to be virtual currency, I don't think there's any debate. The criticisms of Bitcoin is that it's completely unregulated, that it is regressive in the way it's designed and barrier to entry. It's going to rip tons of people off, and its prime purposes for use right now are not for socially generative things. It's for shit like tax evasion. So what? And child pornography. What is more evil than child pornography? What's the point? If the point is virtual currency, there's no debate.
You really are a Bill O'Reilly wannabe. Yes, it's unregulated.
Oh, total Bill O'Reilly
Yes, it's
wannabe.
unregulated, you dumb shits. That's the point. How many US dollars are used for illicit uses every day? In fact, you vote for it. That fixation is a moot point. BushinChainz, tell me, when a real life physical black market, a drug market is taken down, does the US dollar drop like Bitcoin dropped when Silk Road was taken down? When the online black market, Bitcoin is completely tied to these sorts of activities. It's not just used for them. It drops in value when these activities don't take place.
And how are you? So wait, I thought you were much more sophisticated than a libertarian. So if you're, I get. So yes, I get that the point is it's entirely unregulated, and our point is that things being entirely unregulated is not a good idea. So if you disagree with that, then that's a basic fundamental premise difference. Again, what's the point? Do I trust my money in a completely unregulated virtual currency whose prime activities so far have been used in black markets? No, I don't.
Dude.
Doesn't seem that complicated.
Dude, when a bank fails, your money doesn't disappear. You're not screwed.
Yeah, because there's things like the FDIC that insure it. These things that were created in the New Deal and other basic reforms, which is what we're fighting to protect. If you go to it boggles the mind. You're going literally over an email exchange, a currency exchange, it's saying, hey, yeah, some dude in Japan who used to sell magic cards.
Hey,
that's who I trust.
I'm the CEO of Mt. Gox, and I know we're not FDIC insured, but everybody who lost money in Mt. Gox, who lost Bitcoin in Mt. Gox, don't worry, you are covered by the Magic the Gathering mana system. We will be mailing you mana in the form of the Magic the Gathering cards. You will have unlimited cards. You can build your decks. Everything will be fine. Maybe one day you'll get that money back, and you could raise some money and maybe buy that Black Lotus card that's worth a bunch of money. Magic the Gathering is now a better investment than Bitcoin, by the way. maybe the next Bitcoin exchange will be run by the guys who trade the Pokemon cards.
But why not a Bitcoin model that wasn't designed on regressive premises? Why not a Bitcoin that had a lower barrier to entry, whose value depreciated so it's circulated more, and who had some beginning steps of actual oversight so it wasn't just a place of fraud and black markets. And then with the same advantages that you're seeking in a global, interdependent, virtual currency that does not depend on all these other questionable institutions. What's wrong with working to create that?
Also, I would say it's pretty dangerous to base a currency on something that's completely when the currency is completely created by this shadowy figure who has never gone public. No one has any idea who he is, his name. They don't even know if it's his real name. What is this? What is backing Bitcoin? What is in this? What if Mt. Gox is right and there is a flaw in the Bitcoin system? What if this guy specifically, purposely put this flaw in the system, hoping that Bitcoin would rise to the level it's in, and then this guy could take advantage of it?
Totally.
Let's get to these IMs. We're running out of time here. Bitcoins are over. Pogs are where it's at. Hell yeah. Pogs, baby. Gotta get those big ones, the ones you use. I forgot what they're called. The Slammer. I think that's what it's called. You gotta get the Slammers. Those are gonna be where the money's at.